Hello everybody and welcome back. So today we're going to do the oxidation reduction electrochemistry chapter, which is actually one of my favorite topics because it's very logical. You don't have to memorize too much and it's kind of fun to play with. It's a little bit more like physics. All right, let's take a look. So as a big premise for this chapter, we're going to be talking about redox reactions. And you probably have heard of these before. What are redox reactions? Redox reactions are reactions in which electron transfer is taking place. In other words, something is losing electrons, getting oxidized, and something is gaining those electrons that something else lost. Okay? And we're going to be talking about what kind of elements like to lose electrons, like to get oxidized, and what kind of elements love to take the electrons and get reduced, and how we can take advantage of that potential chemical force and how we can create electricity with that, okay? And change it into electrical energy. All right, so before we go any further, let us remember the periodic table, and please tell me in your mind what kind of elements like to lose their electrons versus to gain electrons. Elements at the very left of the periodic table, do those ones like to lose or gain electrons? Well, those ones only have 1 or 2 valence electrons, so they like to lose them, right? So they can go back and have 8 valence electrons. What about elements like halogens, which are to the right of the periodic table? They love to gain electrons, right? They almost have their dream fulfilled, which is 8 valence electrons in the shell, and they're 1 away, and they are just so hungry to get 1 more electron. So they love to be reduced. Okay, so keep those trends in mind. That will really help you understand this chapter better. Okay, so before we dive into it, let us first talk about solutions. So this chapter takes place largely in solution because that is where we can have ions floating around conducting electrical charge, right? So first of all, what are electrolytes? Electrolytes are substances that when dissolved in water, they will conduct electrical charge, such as sodium chloride, hydrochloric acid, okay? And the reason they conduct electrical charge is because in water they separate into a positive and a negative part. And remember that electricity and electric charge is just the movement of charged particles. So there they go. They either ionize or dissociate into cations and anions, and therefore they can conduct electricity in solution. By the way, this is a small point, but an important one. What is the difference between ionize and dissociate? Do you remember? These two things, one of them ionizes